Stories are powerful. We are blessed to have so much stories amongst us in spaces. Minsan nakakalimutan natin how these things impact lives, generations, when they get to be part of these stories. So my name is Manu Reyes, and I'm a coffee shop owner, a small business owner of a coffee shop named Kape. They showed me the space, and they asked if I was going to be interested to bid for a coffee shop, if it's a great idea to have a coffee shop in a place like this. And it gave me like a dream. Para siyang ganon. Para nagkaroon ka ng spark na parang, wow, there's something charming about it. So yeah, I just fell in love with the Aljibe de la Fuerzas.
The Aljibe there at Fort Santiago is basically just a part of the Casa Castellano, which was the residence of the commander of the Fort Santiago. It's basically just a piece of a larger structure. This big structure was destroyed during the Second World War, but fortunately for us, remnants still survived and exist till today. We have the Aljibe, and also part of the historic building, strategically located in the middle of a very important site. Well, in the past, it's very important as a building for utility. As architects, you should be aware that utilities are extremely important in a building. It might look like unsightly, or it might look insignificant for someone who is not technical about it, but utilities are very important. So in this case, the Aljibe played a vital role in ensuring the sustainability of the building during the colonial era, because it was the water cistern. So it was very utilitarian. So right now, it is still significant because it is a survivor, it is a remnant of what was there in Fort Santiago.
This space was never meant for a coffee shop, no? So, utility-wise, ipunan lang siya ng tubig nung araw eh. So, it did not have enough kuryente. Plumbing is an issue, because it's not designed for that. So, we had to, that was one of the first few challenges, was to really equip the space so that it could be useful for how I needed to be used as a coffee shop now. I think one of the bigger challenges is to keep yourselves respectful of the property. Na parang, hindi ko lang isasaksak dyan yung kailangan ko. Kailangan ko isipin yung, paano ko siya re-respetuhin. It being a heritage, historical piece of property, I want to be respectful of that. I have to step back and say, no, what does the place offer? What can it handle? And how can I adapt to what the place also offers?
So napakahalaga na adaptive reuse. Kasi you're saving the structure, bringing new life into it, but still, nandun pa rin siya, no? Hindi siya kagaya nung facadism, which is not a form of conservation, it's actually destruction, no? Because you're just saving the skin of the building and nothing much about it. And the skin is not the entirety of the story of the building, no? So your facade is not the entirety. Well, in terms of Intramuros kasi, it's designated as a monument to the Spanish colonial period. Mind you, it's not a monument to Spain. It's a monument to that time period. The architects, the artists of those times were mixtures of Filipinos, foreigners alike. No? Hindi siya tribute sa mga Kastila. When we restore these buildings, hindi siya dahil to glorify yung kanilang mga pinaggagawa. No? Rather, it is to give Filipinos a glimpse of that part of their history. To build a structure that does not reflect, for example, any identity ng City of Manila is a crime to the City of Manila. Kasi mayroong rich architectural heritage yung City of Manila na nag-develop within 400 years as a center of power and economic progress in the city na kailangan mag-reflect din doon sa modern, not just generic boxes. Parang worry lagi ng tourism sector natin is yung mga tao na, itong mga visitors natin, foreigners na, they go to the beaches, they go to the nature trails, but they know very little about the history of the Filipino people. Oo, alam nila yung adobo, yung mga ganyan-ganyan, mga balut-balut. Kasi minsan na-encounter nila yun doon sa mga provinces. But yung depth ng experience, yung pinagdaanan natin bilang bansa, you only get to encounter that sa Manila, for example, sa mga city centers. And we're not saving yung mga heritage structures to demolishing them in place of generic malls, generic cityscapes na walang character, devoid of the identity of the Filipino people.
Mas madami yung options, di ba? I could go to the malls, I could look for a building that's on the roadside, busy street. And that's a common question people ask me, parang talaga, maglalagay ka ng coffee shop doon sa dulo ng Fort Santiago na walang may alam kung nasaan yan, mahirap puntahan. Ang dami nga tao, hindi na nila alam anong matatagpuan sa loob ng Fort Santiago. So parang it's so foreign to them, this concept. Yes, they're gonna drink coffee, which is very common, but when they come to a place like this, they get to revisit Fort Santiago. Madami dito, they have never seen Fort Santiago for decades. Pero dahil coffee is something that's part of their lives now, they can revisit the space and the space becomes part of their lives once more. Makikita mo pwede kang pumunta sa Fort Santiago several times in a year because you can have coffee with friends or with family. So giving people that thing to offer is really satisfying. I personally find so much satisfaction in seeing what happens to people when they find themselves in new spaces. And I find that inviting people to a coffee shop like this offers an emotion where they find themselves wandering again. I mean, you don't get that emotion when you go to a mall kasi alam mo na yung mall, di ba? But when you come to a space like this, unusual, not the ordinary, it gives you a sense of wonder. And so the experience of coming to a coffee shop like mine becomes extra special. In Aljibe de la Fuerza, may history, may 300 plus year story yung space eh. Mas ma-appreciate mo siya kapag tatanggapin mo na ganun yung narrative ng lugar at makikita mo yung sarili mong nag-a-add into the narration of the space. There's something else that's unique with your coffee experience when you find yourself having coffee in a space that's been used and that is now being reused. We see ourselves allowing people to have more than just a cup of coffee, but they get to enrich their lives with the space. You have also become now a bearer of a story. I'm not just a businessman with a coffee shop anymore. We can keep telling these stories to our customers, young and old, so that our culture, our heritage lives on, moves forward, so that we can keep on telling the Filipino story to more people. And you will be surprised na you offer much more now than just your product or your service. This time, you're offering culture, heritage, and the stories of these walls.